I was in Massachusetts about a month ago on the site of the largest old coal plant in America. Guess what? It costs them too much money. They can't count. No one's building new coal plants because they can't rely on it, even if they have all the coal guaranteed for the rest of the existence of the plant. So it's going to become a wind generation. And all they're doing is you're going to save them a hell of a lot of money. They're using the same transmission line that transmitted the coal-fired electric company. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America and having wind and solar.
Support the channel, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell. Trust me, we're going to grow on you. We got a lot of great content coming. And please, share these videos out. The utter, complete, total fraud of wind power. Wind energy might be the biggest scam in United States history. Wind power's contribution is still, after decades, centuries of development, trivial to the point of irrelevance. Even after 30 years or more of subsidies, wind power provides only slightly more than zero energy to the world. Zero energy. Even put together, wind and solar are supplying less than 1% of the global energy demand. So why do the green energy people, why do these climate change fanatics keep pushing solar and wind? Well, I'm going to tell you. You might not like the answer, but here we go. Here's just another day on the old wind farm. I mean, come on, look at this. You really want this in your backyard? And wait till you see what it takes to make one of these. It's a bird. I'll fuck this. So they're fair use as it's a parody. If you don't have a sense of humor, go. Welcome. Is this my reality? Is this your reality? Welcome to Not My Reality. Now let's get this straight. Wind turbines are not economically viable, and the only reason they're built is because of the billions of dollars in our tax incentives that are being wasted by our government, just like they do with all the rest of our money. Our government plans to spend over $40 billion of our tax money in the next 9 years to support wind energy. I have a letter from a U.S. Representative, Sam Graves, in which he states we should not be providing tax incentives for a source of energy that is not economically viable. You making sense there, Sam? Instead, he says we should focus our efforts on alternative energy sources that can support themselves. Yeah, they got a hard time with that one. Even with the tax incentives, everywhere wind turbines have gone into production, and that means everywhere that the rates haven't gone down, the rates have actually friggin' gone up. A lot. Despite all the media hype, wind energy is not green. First of all, it does not and cannot replace any of the fossil fuel generators currently in production because it's too unreliable. Wind turbines require a minimum wind speed of 10 miles an hour to operate and 25 to 31 miles an hour to reach full output. One example, in northwest Missouri, the average wind speed is below the 10 mile an hour threshold, on average about 250 days per year, factoring in the steel required to build the wind turbines. Well, we'll get into that, and the energy that they have to burn to keep the rotors turning slowly when not generating. They actually have a negative impact on the environment. The direct effect of wind turbines, killing birds, bats, I've heard even whales are dying for some reason. Sinking concrete foundations deep into wild lands is bad enough. But out of sight and out of mind is the dirty pollution generated in Inner Mongolia by the mining of rare earth metals for the magnets in the turbines. This generates toxic and radioactive waste on an epic scale, which is why the phrase clean energy is such a sick joke, and these greenie politicians should be ashamed every time it passes their filthy lips. Listen to this, you climate change extremists, okay? Wind turbines, apart from fiberglass blades, are made mostly of steel with concrete bases. That means they need about 200 times as much material per unit of capacity as a modern combined cycle gas turbine. I know you don't understand that. Steel, guess what? It's made with coal, not just to provide the heat for smelting ore, but to supply the carbon in the alloy. And that's not all. In order to make your green energy, you're going to need cement, and you're going to need a lot of cement. And I got news for you. Cement is also often made using coal. Yes, you guessed it. So get this, people. The machinery of clean renewables, of your green energy, is actually just the output of the fossil fuel economy that you hate. And I get a kick out of this. You need the coal industry. You need a lot of coal to make these. A 2 megawatt wind turbine weighs about 250 metric tons, including the tower, nacelle, rotor, and blades. Globally, it takes about a half a ton of coal, coal, to make a ton of steel. Do the math, people. Add another 25 tons of coal for making the cement. And now you're talking up to 150 metric tons of coal per turbine. Get it? Gotcha. So what are we doing here? Are we just going to waste billions and billions of dollars on a technology that just doesn't work so these fat cat green politicians can line their pockets and dole out our tax money to all their buddies who actually own these companies? And they all go bankrupt. Wind turbines, they create health and environmental problems in the communities where they're installed. Property values are also reduced because nobody wants to live among them. Look at these things. They're god awful. And look at them. They're just gonna set on fire. They're gonna kill birds. They're gonna go flying out of control. That's not something I want in my backyard. In the letter referenced above, Representative Graves does acknowledge that new wind farms come with real negative consequences. You know shit. So is everything you guys in Washington do. It's always a negative consequence. With all of the wind turbines currently installed in the United States, they represent less than 8% of the electric generation. 8% or less. Bottom line is that we can't build enough wind turbines to really do any good. No matter how much money you throw at it. Even if enough capacity was built, it's still too unreliable to do any good. The large developers installing the wind turbines, they don't care about efficiency, meteorological data, the community's concerns. It's all about the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Same with the politicians. It's all about the money and the tax incentives. We need to stop the tax incentives, and then all the problems will go away. What I say is follow the money. Let's see who's scamming us this time. Look, I love the environment. I don't want the world to be a wasteland like Mad Max. But then again, these guys are just stealing money from us and throwing it at pet projects that they know aren't going to work. Why aren't we concentrating on actual renewable energy that we can provide? Not some pipe dream. I say we go look at what Tesla was talking about. That guy seemed to know something. What say you? Do you think this is a colossal waste of money and time? Or do you think we should put these everywhere? In every backyard there should be a windmill. Let me know. Leave a comment down below. That's all I got for today. Let's get the fuck out of here. For some reason this video made me feel like I gotta go feed the birds and say thank you to a coal miner. Have a good one.